Nicholas and Shamar, what are some outlets that you guys plug into for positivity? Like, what really works for you to build that momentum? How do you build it?
Personally, my main like outlet is music. I feel like when you're listening to the right music, like anything's possible. Especially you're listening to like some uplifting type or hype music, it can just change your whole mood. And I feel like that's really important, especially when you might encounter some difficult things that you weren't expecting. You just plug in them earphones and you change your whole outlook.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
I like that. I like that. I like to dance with my music too, so I'm sure we get in our zone when we're listening to that positive music. Thanks for that tip too, Shamar. What do you do? How do you build your positive mental momentum?
I use a little bit of music, but mainly I go to the golf course. I always use that as my kind of outlet. That always helps me whenever I have a math quiz, or if I have something coming up that I really need to be ready for, then I always try to go to the golf course a day before that or a couple of days before and go kind of relieve my stress.
I like that. I like that.
That's real.
And there's several ways that we could build that positive momentum for ourselves too. And something I practiced recently is positive affirmations in the morning, or something that I like to say to myself. I like to speak greatness into myself in the morning. There's this saying right here behind me. It says, "You live the life you've always dreamed of. Be fearless in the face of adversity. Never stop learning. Use your imagination whenever possible. Uh, Recognize the beauty that surrounds you. Be you. Remember where you came from, but never lose sight of where you are going." And I try to say that every day to myself. It's that positive momentum, that mirror talk, because if you don't believe it, who else is going to believe it, right? So I really like the music, because I really feel like that music really gets me going too. But what are some other ways that we could generate that positive momentum?
Thinking positive thoughts at all times.
Positive thoughts.
Like what? Like what's a positive thought?
Mm-hmm.
Well, acing finals, acing your PSAT or your SAT if you're that far along.
Right.
Okay. So you're about trying to handle the business so you can move forward in your academics.
Pretty much. That's the way I try to think about it. If I come home and my mom, rather than me coming home and seeing my mom with a grin on her face saying, "Why did you get this score?" I'd rather come home to my mom saying, "Well, I'm really proud of you. I just saw that you got an A on your math quiz."
Right.
Okay.
That's kind of interesting.
So is there a reason why you want to do so well in your school? Do you have plans for like college? Do you want to be like the next Tiger Woods?
My plans for college are academics mostly. I want to play for the golf team. I want to go to Stanford University, play for their golf team, but I do not want to go on a golf scholarship. I want to go on an academic scholarship, which will leave me more open, and I won't really be limited. I'll be limited by getting good grades rather than being limited by a sport.
Okay.
Nice. Good head on your shoulders, Shamar.
Thank you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's real. How about you, Mr. Crawford?
Yeah.
I'm a senior, so I've been applying to colleges this year, and I plan to major in chemistry to become a chemical engineer. And I mainly applied to a lot of HBCUs. I want to get into like Howard, Hampton, Xavier, But I think it was interesting when you guys were talking about like what are you motivated by, because I see a lot of people in my class that are motivated by like not getting punished by their parents to get good grades rather than wanting to get good grades to like help themselves to like get into the college they want to, or to further their academic goals, versus they put all this pressure on themselves to get these good grades so that their parents aren't mad at them. And I feel like that's just a negative mindset that leads to a lot of stress and depression that I see in my class, because I am in IB and it is pretty rigorous. And so there are a lot of kids that I've seen drop out over these types of things and really struggle mentally over this type of pressure.
Right. What's an IB, Nick? If I could ask you, I don't know what that is.
It's International Baccalaureate. It's an academic program where basically it's like a world-renowned program where they put you go through extra hard courses, and you have to, there's extra requirements like essays and certain exams that regular classes don't take. But in the end, you get an IB certificate that, or a diploma if you go like the full course way, that is usually recognized by most colleges and universities around the world.
Nice, man.
Wow.
Stay the course.
Yeah.
Stay the course. And unfortunately, there is some truth. There's a lot of truth to what you pointed out with your classmates, wanting to do good for their parents and maybe not for themselves. And they're motivated externally by that instead of finding that internal motivation to just do well by them. And, every morning, I think I do ask myself that, like, why am I doing this? Why am I getting up so early? Why am I trying to build this positive momentum? And it's what's good for me is also good for my family. And it's also good for you all, since I'm here on this platform and I'm being a host. If I'm up here in a negative energy, that's going to rub off on you. And it's not just good for us here, but it's good for my community that I get up and I practice my self-care in the morning before my meetings start at 9. That way I've built up this momentum before my day even starts, and that just carries on. But yeah, you do. It's a good point you bring up, Nick, is that you just want to know your why. You want to find your why. Why are we trying to be so positive? Why are we trying to generate that positivity and then give it out to the world? So, yeah, it's a good point. I like that.